What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great thirsty Thursday. I am on my way up to work on this house, built in 1837. Got maybe today and tomorrow will be about the last of the stuff that we were supposed to do on it and getting it done. You know, they always tell me don't quit your day job because there's no future here on the YouTube for you. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, if you watched my morning video, I was talking about, you know, Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott and the return of them and the leadership aspect. And see, here's one of the things, you know, the Cowboys are great front runners. They're a great team. When things are going right, they are there. They're going down and having a ball, they're doing the line crawls and all that stuff. But when shit hits the fan, that's the problem, and of course, our run stopping ability has been one of those issues. Now, you can truly see that some of the reason why some of the players weren't re-signed is a philosophical difference. I'm not going to say that Dorrance Armstrong can't play, but when you look at a $15 million a year deal that he's getting for Washington, that's a whole lot of money that I'm not sure that is going to be well spent. If you spend $15 million for Dorrance Armstrong, for a guy who had 8.5 sacks, that leaves less money for others. And this is where you want to say, at some point, some of the things that the Joneses do is good. You don't luck into just getting 12 wins, okay? Their problem is finishing off. Now, I like what the Cowboys did in the draft, getting some size, getting some more run stoppers and things. I think that is definitely good. And I almost say getting a guy like Cooper Beebe is a direct counter to the Eagles and their defensive line. The same thing with Tyler Guyton, that the Cowboys are looking and saying, we're going to need to be more physical on the offensive line and get younger. And if that play works, and there's no guarantee that any players work out, then that is going to truly be good for us for quite a few years. Offensive line, defensive line are key. Now, for us, we ended up getting linebackers. We got better linebackers than we've had in a couple of years. We've got a lot of guys to choose from. We've got some veterans. We've got some young guys. We got guys, of course, coming back from injury. Where I really still have concerns is on the defensive line itself. And this is where the Cowboys could do something big. Now, I wanted them to do this big move back in 2016. And what's funny is, listening to people that told me, you're an idiot. The guy is too old. He only gets about, 7-8 sacks a season. And he'll be too expensive. I know I'm a guy with a day job, a voodoo doll. I don't work for the Cowboys. I wasn't a professional football player. I don't work on ESPN or Fox Sports or 105 The Fan. I'm just Joe the Fan. But when I said in 2016, when he was a free agent from Arizona, signed that guy, he ended up having 14.5 sacks that next year, defensive runner-up on the year, and helped Jacksonville get to the AFC Championship game. Now, since that time, he has been around the league a bit. He's older. He's 37 years old. May actually retire, but seems like he still wants to play. So after having some really good years in Baltimore, he left and he went to Atlanta last year. Now, again, he will be 37 years old. But I want you to understand, when you think about Tyler Guyton's size, that's exactly the size that Calais Campbell is. Calais is 6'8", about 330 pounds. I know you're going to say he's old. Yes, he is old. But what you're looking at is putting him as part of the rotation. And I want you to understand that last year, with the Atlanta Falcons playing basically defensive line. He'll play defensive end. He can play tackle. Unlike Tyrone Crawford, who was a tweener, who was really too small to be defensive tackle and really too big to be defensive end. Calais Campbell can't play defensive line. And you put a guy who can be a run stopper in the middle there, it will help this team. Not to mention that he's an NFL Man of the Year. He is a guy that's been there. And last year, only having 63% of the snaps for Atlanta, had 6.5 sacks from the defensive line. 6.5 sacks from the defensive line is really good. He had 52 total tackles, and I want to say 32 were solo tackles. And that's production that we have not gotten on our defensive line from anybody in a long time. And price-wise, you may look at it, he might be one of those guys that if you start making some of these veteran moves and start bringing in some guys like that, when you're Calais Campbell and you're 37, and if you do come back, what you're coming back is, I'm looking for icing to be on the cake. And this is going to sound crazy to say this, but with the Cowboys, you look at this and say, can I be like a Ndamukong Suh, where I can help this team get over the top? You talk about Cowboys' problems, running the football and stopping the run. Calais Campbell can help you do exactly that. And I'll even go another step further here, because I believe that Stephon Gilmore brought back as well. These are guys that you can get here for relatively cheap. And now that we are past the deadline for losing comp picks, if you bring back Stephon Gilmore, and Stephon Gilmore wants a 2-year contract, the Cowboys don't want to go 2 years. They're looking and saying, we just want 1-year deals. And, got to take this call. I'll be back. Sorry, I had to take that call because that was about the trip that we're going to Vermont to give back, where we're going to be rebuilding some houses and things. And I needed to take that call because I've got to take some stuff up. I'm driving up to Vermont and taking some tools and materials and things like that for the trip. Okay, so we have an oversized load here that's broke down. Is that what it is? Okay. And construction. Okay, not what you want to have. I will say that another move beyond getting Calais Campbell, which would definitely help in the rotation, leadership-wise and mentoring guys, as well as a player who can be outstanding, would be bringing back Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore wants to get a 2-year deal. The Cowboys are looking and saying, we only want that 1-year deal. And I think that the Cowboys are also waiting to see how that shoulder heals. We've heard rumors of him with Carolina and New England, but I think, again, when you start looking at this and knowing that you don't have that much time, you want to go to the best team possible. And if you bring back Stephon Gilmore and you add him, hopefully, to a Diggs that got hurt early in the season, that is 100%, if he is 100%, and back to playing the way he used to, a Deron Bland who takes another step at being a better cover corner. If you have a Stephon Gilmore out in there, you're looking at being able to basically go man-to-man on teams and really be able to put 8 men in the box where it's not going to hurt you. And having a big guy like Calais Campbell that can help collapse the pocket, if Mozzie Smith can just be the load that does not give up ground, and you get an Osa who can put pressure from the other side, man, all of a sudden, that defense with the linebackers could be really, really good. And that, to me, would be an all-in move. I know it's crazy at this point when you say bringing in a 37-year-old defensive player, but this isn't Don Terry Poe. Calais has still been good every single year and has not had major injuries, and is a guy who is looking to try and win it all. That's my thoughts on it. You tell me what you think. there are still some good players that are out there, and there will be more now that that second wave of free agency happens, because teams drafted guys, they got their OTAs going on, and they're starting to figure out what their rosters are going to be. All right, good people. Hope to see you all real soon, and hope you guys have a great day. Peace out.